Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the final market open of 2025. Today is going to be a regular day. Tomorrow the markets will be closed, and then on Friday we are back. We're back with 2026 action. So in today's live stream, we have a couple of things to cover. We've got some news, yes, from Reuters with regards to China and Nvidia, so we can talk about that. We'll go over again the probabilities of a government shutdown, of a rate cut. We'll look at the heat map. We'll look at a couple of names. Then we'll open the market. It's again going to be, in my opinion, another quiet day today. I think it's a quiet day over the last, it's been quiet days since last week. I would say across the board, people are maybe on vacation, ski holiday, maybe beach holiday. They don't really care. And why should they care about the market? Things will get back, I think, with a lot more volume starting next week. So right now, let's actually have a quick look at the markets from yesterday. So this was yesterday's action. Pretty mixed all in all. There's a lot of red, not that much green, but again, the moves have not been that violent. Yes, some stocks are down 1-2% or so. Pre-market, this is basically it. If we actually switch this is the pre-market action right now. Still a lot more red than green, but it's not like we're seeing a lot of movements. The background will switch again after. I mean, once we start 2026. So seems like again we are having here a quiet day, which was to be expected. If we have a look here at the probabilities of a government shutdown, seems to be at around 32% right now. Government shutdown for the end of January sits at 32%. We did go a little bit under it over the last couple of days, but we were also a little bit higher than that. If we look at the probabilities of a rate cut in January, that is still very low at 16.1%. Looking at March, that's still, 50% chance that we're still going to stay at the same rate, 44% chance of a 25 basis points cut. I think these numbers will move quite a lot as we get more data in January, more up-to-date data, that is. Then, regarding Nvidia and China, we have this right here. So ByteDance apparently plans a $14 billion Nvidia chip spend in 2026 as demand surges. Which, as you know, China business, and yes, this depends of course on US exports, but China business for Nvidia and for AMD sits at zero at the moment. So everything that we get on top of it is of course a positive thing. Did Nvidia move on this news? I doubt it. Let's actually see. Let's see if Nvidia moves on the news. Not really. Nvidia is up 0.75%, still around $187, $189 or so. Has been like this for the last couple of days. Did I end up buying Symbotic? No, I have no interest in buying any new company, as you know. So I did not buy Symbotic. People still think AI is a bubble. Yes, Yes, I guess they'll have to. I mean, if they want to see a real bubble, maybe they'll have to look at this. Silver looks like a meme stock. Silver and gold, of course, we have seen a small pullback, but not really such a violent one, because the stock is still up considerably. Well, silver is still up considerably over the last couple of weeks and months. So for now, pre-market, there is again more red than green. If you look at fintech, if you look at the neo clouds as well, it's not that much movement. We'd had, what is it, CoreWeave still going back down here to the low 70s, Nebius mid 80s still, Core Scientific basically following the same move as CoreWeave right now, White Fiber exactly the same, Cypher sitting here on that 100-day moving average. We have Iron that's flat, but as you can see, most of them have again peaked just before Christmas. Just before Christmas, they all peaked. Well, peaked. They basically all rebounded and then peaked at the same point, and now have been retracing in this fake Santa rally that did not happen. Clearly did not happen. As for big tech companies, same thing here. Unmoved. Netflix is still around $93. Oracle still floating or close to $200. But I do think that, well, in 3 weeks' time, we are entering the new earnings season, so things will move quite quickly at the end of January, the start of February. So in a month's time, I think most of the big companies that we follow will have reported their quarterly figures. Looks like maybe update on Pagaya. There is literally no update on Pagaya. The stock is at $21.10. There's no update to be given on the company. Just like with every other company, there's no real update right now. Just the stock moves in one way or the other. There are no analyst conferences. There are no earnings reports. Nothing. Stocks move because the market moves. Again, a month from now, we are going to get a lot more information. Plus, CES is starting next week. A lot of companies are presenting at CES, whether it's Nvidia, AMD, even PayPal is there. They're going to talk about the ads platform. So we will probably get already a lot of information for certain companies starting next week. The full focus is, of course, going to be on robotics, AI, autonomous vehicles, and things like that. CES, again, is for next week. Then, what else do we have this fine moment? Oh yes, we have for the Nike people, we have Nike president and CEO has completed a around $1 million insider buy. So pretty bullish when you see insiders buying. This means the stock is probably up a little bit. Yep, the stock is up. Yesterday was 61.2, we're now at 63. Seems to have bottomed out here at around $57. We, of course, also had Tim Cook, which sits on the board. Tim Cook did also buy some shares of Nike. Now we have the CEO buying some shares of Nike, and so the stock continues its small recovery after the huge gap down from the last earnings report. This is something that I'd like to see PayPal insiders do instead of selling, even though, yes, we know that their compensations are quite big. But if the new the new CEO of Nike can do it, if the Transmedic CEO can do it, if the insiders at DoorDash can do it, then I think PayPal insiders should be doing it as well, especially at these prices. Now, on that Nike note, let's have a listen to what the TV people have to say. And of course, happy pre-New Year to everyone. Actually, is it 2026 somewhere already? Maybe in Australia? Maybe, I don't know. So if you are in the upside down, happy New Year's to you.
Filing showed that CEO Elliott Hill bought about 16,000 shares of Nike. Somebody quickly do the math on what that is. Remember, last week we got news that Tim Cook and former Intel CEO Bob Swan also bought shares worth about $3.5 million combined. So you had Karen Tim Cook, Bob Swan, and now you got the CEOs, newish, but coming back to the company, stepping in.
16,000 is actually not that much.
$1 million.
Yes.
That's why I was trying to do the math.
Yes.
I did the math.
At first I thought it was 16 million. No,
What'd you come up? What's the number?
It's $1 million and change.
Exactly $1 million.
Yeah.
Well, it probably was $1 million.
Probably or is.
Yeah.
Think about it. With
Yeah.
16,000 is an odd number.
Yeah.
He probably said, "Here's $1 million.
Buy
How many
some
shares
stock."
can I buy?"
So there's the headline.
Is
Elliot,
that a vote? I don't know that that's a vote of confidence. To be honest.
This is again such a stupid comment, and we've heard that comment before from last week. There was also an insider, I forgot the company, and they also bought like a considerable amount of shares. And in this case, again, it's $1 million. Now, okay, maybe for the CEO's wealth, as a percent of his wealth, it's not such a big number, but still, it's $1 million. If you think that $1 million is not that much, then I would like to see that woman and anyone on the panel actually ask someone, or maybe that CEO, for $100,000, just as a donation. We'll see if they'll do it. Now, every time I see this, oh, it's $1 million, that's not much. Well, it's still someone that goes and puts $1 million to buy shares of course, in this case, the CEO, so the company that he does run, is still a considerable amount of money, because he doesn't have to do it, right? He's still going to get paid. He's getting paid in shares anyways, a lot of it. So every time I see this, oh, it's $1 million, this is like you buying a $5 coffee or whatever. Well, first of all, no, it's not $5 on coffee. It's still $1 million. Doesn't matter if you have $1 billion in your bank account, you're still spending $1 million on shares. Ridiculous.
The news alert just crossed.
It's better than selling it. Let's get
If you
better
bought
than selling it.
16 shares of Nike, that would be a different issue.
True. It's better than
and-
selling 16,000.
How about this? It
Give me
layers
that.
on to the news that Tim Cook, who didn't have to buy anything,
Right.
came in with his own cash
Right.
and
bought
bought.
more than that. 2.6 million.
And
I
Bob
believe.
Swan.
I don't know how much Bob Swan bought. So
Well, he would have bought about 500,000 because, according to Guy Dami's math, Tim Cook bought 3 million. So I'm just trying to do basic math here on live national television.
yeah, I mean, okay, he should buy that much. If he doesn't want to buy it at that price, I mean, why should we? But I am long. That's a sad thing to feel.
Look, it's not a bad thing, obviously.
not bad, but it could be better.
It could be better, I think, to Karen's point. When Jamie Dimon, I think it was 2018, was it February? I forget exactly when it was. The market was
15 or
getting
16.
crushed on a Friday, and news came out that Jamie Dimon had bought a few...
500,000
Yeah, shares of JP Morgan stock. And I think the stock was trading about $50-something dollars at the time. It never looked back. That, to me, is sort of a line in the sand. He might as well bought a couple pair of Nikes.
You gotta. I want
Nobody else is.
First off, I love all of you, but you got. When somebody buys $1 million worth of stock, you're like,
We don't know. We don't know what it is. His accountant probably told him to do it. We don't know what the real, true ramification. We have no clue. I mean, it's not like he's sitting there putzing around saying, "I have $1 million."
Elliot, I
That's
think
fine.
you should buy 1 million shares of Nike.
Yeah, just something. There's a rounding error with some type of wealth management.
I hope.
It was actually Tim Cook. Tim Cook bought the shares. So people say, oh, he's worth a couple of billion. What is a couple of million when he buys shares? But again, Tim Cook is CEO of Apple. Yeah, he sits on the board of Nike. He doesn't have to buy $1 million or plus shares. Again, this is such a ridiculous thing, because even here, even Elliot, he came in a year ago or something like that, doesn't have to buy shares, because he just came in and he's already getting a lot of shares anyways as a salary or as a bonus, whatever. I can't remember the structure there. I think he gets paid on a lot of it on performance. And so he doesn't have to. And yet he did. He did take $1 million and bought shares of his own company, which I think is a pretty big deal. They might not like it. I don't see any Monetary difference, yes, if it was 1 million or 5 million or 10 million, okay, the number becomes bigger. But the message here is clear. He puts $1 million, buys back shares of the company that he runs right now. Why would he not leverage if he trusts the company? I mean, he's still CEO of the company. I don't think he can do some degenerate investing while he runs his own, the company. So yeah, I found that quite strange, Plus, he does. I mean, he still owns a lot of shares, anyways. He gets paid in shares, paid a dividend through those shares as well. But the turnaround is, as per his comment, the turnaround is still going to take a while to play out. How's my portfolio doing? Well, just check the last portfolio video and you will see every single detail. Plus, yeah, you don't really need leverage to make money. Am I a fan of Nike? The stock or the company? Again, the stock can be a turnaround story. You can see some value, but do I need to buy Nike? I don't think so. I don't think I need it. I've made my case as to if you're interested in this type of company. There are, of course, faster growing companies in this space. Not as big as Nike, fine, but who cares? They're growing faster, so it doesn't matter. But if the turnaround is successful, then yes, maybe in a couple of years, this is a $100 stock. Again, can you have better returns than that over the next couple of years with other names? Probably, yes. And I do own Nike shoes, yes. Am I going to buy more NVIDIA this year? Well, you mean this year, today? Because the year ends today. Am I going to buy more NVIDIA next year every time we cover the earnings? Yeah, maybe one share. I mean, an extra share every time we cover. My take on iron, I mean, I still own it. I'm still bullish on it. Otherwise, I would not own it. And the fact that it's now at $38 doesn't bother me that much. I bought at 33, 34 the last time. My average is still lower than that. Still think 2026 is going to be a big year for the neo clouds or the AI specialized clouds. Some will call it that. I mean, if you bought it at $69, then you should definitely love it at 38. Not really, no, because Nike had declining revenues. PayPal does not. PayPal still grows and is priced as if it has declining revenues, which it hasn't. My take on Netflix, I said it, I think, more than 10 times already, but over the past weeks. But yeah, if I were to look at a new company to own, it would probably be Netflix at these prices. So if I were to close a position in my portfolio, it would probably be to start a position here in Netflix. Whether or not they buy Warner Brothers doesn't matter for me at these prices. So yeah. Millennials are turning away from Nike products more and more each day. Oh, yeah, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know if you walking the street, I think you can still see a lot of people running around with Nike shoes and Nike apparel and stuff like that. Might not be new things, I agree. But millennials, Gen Z, whatever, they'll hop on the new hype train whenever something gets hyped up on social media. And I think Nike can make a comeback if they do it in a smart way. If they start doing things a bit more exclusive and I don't know, their new shoes, the tech behind it seems cool. We'll see if that plays out. We'll see how that plays out. That's a good question. Which position? I guess I don't know. I guess it depends. It depends on the performance. I mean, if Micron continues to go up like this, I might just say, you know what, I've made enough with Micron. Risk reward wise might be better somewhere else. Because then my average on Micron is 90 and we are close to 300 right now. Plus it has been going up quite aggressively, but for good reasons. The reasons are the company is growing like crazy. It's becoming more and more profitable. Margins are expanding. So this move makes sense. But if I were to look too close, maybe it's a Micron. Alibaba, I still think it's too cheap to sell right now. And yes, I am up on it, although I was up more than that. But going to 2026, I think it's a good position to have again for some outperformance. As for the rest, no. The rest I don't think I'll touch. I don't think I'll touch because the rest are smaller capped companies, right? Shift4, Rubrik, Oscar, things like that. I don't see myself selling in 2026. Far from it. So yes, I basically answered that question now as well. I feel, especially with the pullback, especially with still the growth in Alibaba Cloud, to me it's still a good one to own for me. Micron could double from here. It could. It could also not. But it could definitely continue to grow. The question is, how much is priced into the stock today? How much will be priced into the stock over the next couple of months? Yeah, but it's, again, the reason why I bought Micron is because of the disconnect that, again, the cyclicality stuff around players like Micron to me did not make sense anymore because we are in a completely different cycle with HBM. And so it's a different story, and that's why I bought it, and that's why I thought this would completely crush the market. And I still think they can continue to grow because the demand is there. The demand is there, so we'll see. But for now, I'm okay with it for now. StreamYard got bought yesterday. No, I did get the notification. I think it's just their parent company. So the parent company just took it fully over, or is going to take it tomorrow, January 1st, 2026. Weird name, Blue Spoon or something like that. Strange name. Am I going to buy the IPO? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's that interesting. Let's see if we've got some news here that popped out over the last couple of minutes. Oh, we do have this. Let me copy pasta this in the comments. So US jobless claims came in at 199,000 for the December 27 week. The estimated number was 218,000. So a bit lower. So yes, seems like things have gone greener. Things have gone greener right now. So we'll see. Yeah, in case some of you have not watched the last video, what do you think? What are your top five names for 2026? Maybe top 4, top 3, whatever. For 2026, let me know down or in the chat. We'll maybe have a look at that. So we have here two delocals, one AMD, SoFi, ARM, Salesforce, MercadoLibre. The big boys, of course, can't go wrong with the big boys. AST, NVIDIA, Google, Tencent. Okay. You don't trust any data coming from this administration? I don't think it's this administration because the data is always coming from the same spot, and that data has been revised. Doesn't matter who's in charge. Don't know if you remember, but When Biden was in charge, the data was also not that correct. You've got stupid revisions every single time. Plus, we've had a recession, but the recession definition got, of course, changed, so we don't have a recession. So it's not, oh, I don't trust this administration. Don't have to trust the way the collection is, the data is being collected, which has been a problem for many, many years. Netflix, Amazon, and wheat. Wheat? Okay. Amazon, Nebius, SoFi, IBM, AMD, and IBRX. What is IBRX? IBRX. Immunity Bio. Okay. So a lot of Amazons, AMD, Amazon, Tesla, Elf, Chewy. Yeah. Yesterday we saw one analyst firm that had Chewy as one of their picks. Nebius, SoFi, Ondas. Okay. Smaller players. Okay, smaller caps. Oscar, Melly, SoFi, Acre, BP, Evolution. Yep. Yes, but it is still cheap. It is still cheap, especially if you compare it to the historical valuation of Amazon. It is much cheaper today, and I do think that it is cheap even at the, what is it, 29, 30 times PE or something like that right now. Palo Alto Networks, BMNR. Okay, what is BMNR doing these days? Still 29 or maybe 30? I don't know. Let's see. 28. Okay, 28. Amazon, AMD, Nebius, SoFi, Celsius, Bloom Energy. Yeah, Bloom Energy got a lot of attention more recently. Well, more recent in recent months. Although we did see a nice pullback in Blue Energy. We saw also, I wrote it down actually. Where is it? I think it was Blue Energy and another one. Credo, yeah. Credo was another one. Bloom Energy. Because of the CapEx, not necessarily because of the CapEx. It's just the CapEx does impact your free cash flow margin and all of that. It's just it has always had a high PE because they really didn't care about the profitability on an earnings per share basis for the company. But if you look at operating cash flow for the business, that has been improving for the last couple of years quite a lot. And that's the important part. Because yes, if they do decide to suddenly not grow the investments, whether it's operating expenses or CapEx, as fast as they are right now, you're going to suddenly see a huge jump across the board. Yeah, no, for sure. But then again, if you compare the historical averages for these companies, Google is now trading at a higher multiple than the 10-year average, while Amazon is trading at a lower multiple than the 10-year average. Because, yeah, for some reason, Google has always been trading at a lower pricing multiple. Meta is also very cheap. I mean, Meta is the cheapest out of the Max 7 right now. That's the big question, right? That's the big question. I again made my monthly posts on X, trying to reach Alex Chris. I did go a little bit more aggressive in the post this time because it does bother me that the retail community has become bigger, which is fine, which is also their user base, which is why I don't get why they get ignored. But also at the same time, you see some PayPal executives go on podcasts and other channels. So why ignore retail channels while you go on other podcasts that don't really have that much of a reach compared to, let's say, my channel, Tanner's channel, Roy's channel? I mean, we've been following the company and fintech for quite a while. I think also from a marketing perspective for PayPal, it makes a hell of a lot more sense to appear on our channels than on some random other channel out there that doesn't have that much exposure. But I cannot control it. I can only do my best here to try and reach out and see if we get a response. We'll see. They will present at CES their new ads platform. Hopefully it is. I mean, we already got some news from it from Mark. They did already launch it. They were sold out, I think, from the ads real estate in October, I believe, or in October or November. So that's good. So hopefully they can provide us already with some numbers. Hopefully we get some numbers already. Yes, he did go on Roy's channel, but that was a long time ago. Since then, nothing, nada, not even interactions. You know what? If you don't want to go on the channels, fine. But there is zero interactions with retail, even on X, which is a bit strange. Why is Iron not breaking out? Again, it's end of the year. There's no real volume to break anything out at the moment. And it's not just Iron, it's a lot of the high-flying names. And again, these names have gone up substantially year to date. I mean, over the year. So I'm not that surprised. 2026 is again a year where a lot of these names will have to execute quite well. 2026 is the year where you'll see good companies that execute go up, bad companies that have seen their stock go up by quite a lot get crushed. And I think that's what we want to see. We want to see the good companies be rewarded, the fake ones get crushed or put back to reality, let's say. Yeah, I think they already hired, the CEO of content or something like that. Could be a good thing, but then again, if they were already hired, should have been doing a better job. Because I mean, we are already doing the free marketing for them, right? We cover the PayPal news, we cover the new releases, whether it's on YouTube or on X. So we are already doing the free job for them. But yeah, I mean, think about the amount of money that they're paying Will Ferrell for their commercials. Probably a lot. When does the VIX come back again? Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's been low. It's going to stay low, I think, for another week or so. As we get closer to the earnings report, as we get more, PPI, CPI numbers, etc., it might start to creep up back again. Yeah, so I talked a little bit about that during the Sunday video. So at first people said it's an acquisition, right? A $20 billion acquisition. It's not really an acquisition. It's the acqui-hire that we've seen before from Alphabet and Windsurf. We've seen that with Meta and Scale AI. We've seen that with Amazon and other companies. So it's a bit of the same. Yes, it is to protect NVIDIA's moat, for sure. Then, what was it, yesterday or 2 days ago, we had Meta buy that small AI company. Didn't even know what that company does, but apparently it's the fastest startup to reach $100 million in ARR in just 8 months, which is insane, which is good because it's a very profitable company that Meta just bought and can now integrate it into their own ecosystem, right? WhatsApp Business, Messenger, Instagram, you name it. Pretty big move. Let's see if that can make Meta AI, Llama or avocado models or whatever they're going to call it, more competitive. Do I follow First Solar? not that close. I did follow it. I mean, I did cover it a year ago. Around a year ago, I covered this one and Enphase. Enphase did not perform well. First Solar performed well, was the prediction, because they're less related to higher inflation, well, interest rates, and more towards bigger projects instead of just residential. And it's not even that expensive today, despite the run-up this year. Yeah, Manus AI, that's the name. MercadoLibre, what is it, still 2,000, I assume? Yep. Still $2,000 per share. Still a very good company to own. Weak dollar obviously helps it when it has to report in USD, but yeah. PE wise, of course, it's not cheap, but then again, it was never cheap on a PE basis, although it is cheaper now than before. But it is an excellent company to own. You sleep very well at night, knowing that you own this name. Cash position going into 2026 is not that big as of right now. I think it was 5% or something like that. So yeah, closer to 5%. I'm okay with it because there are certain companies where I don't feel, or in many companies that I own, I don't feel they're that expensive or stretched. So I don't mind having only 5% in cash. So we'll see. No problem, Simon. No problem. How long will they keep up? Well, if you look at they can continue to grow this quickly because the region they're operating is growing fast. That's the thing with these types of companies in emerging markets is they can grow fast for a long period of time because the region that they're operating in is also growing fast. Yeah, I thought I'd come back for one last time before the end of the year. A little break is good because anyways, not that many people are interested, or a lot of people are just on vacation right now, and a little disconnect is always good to start the year with a bit more energy. How much lower do I think it can go? I don't know. It was already lower. It was here at $1,900 twice, so a small double bottom here. Better opportunities. I mean, I bought more right over the last couple of weeks. More of the smaller stocks that I did own. Added a little bit more of iron, a little bit more of CoreWeave, but would not have minded to buy more Melly at these prices. So it's about better opportunities. I guess there are always better opportunities, but then again, we don't follow every single stock in the market. So sometimes this opportunity is good enough. And I think it's good enough. Am I worried about PayPal's users declining? Where did you see that PayPal users are declining? From what I've seen, the numbers are increasing, not declining. So very nice tiger, by the way. Yeah, I did not see any numbers of it declining. If you're looking at the Honey extension downloads or whatever, I couldn't care less. I could not care less. This is your first year in the market. Well, congrats, you survived a extremely volatile year despite the market being up. It has been a very, very volatile year. Hopefully next year we get a year with less major headlines and we can have a normal year where stocks go up because the company performs well and stocks go down because the company doesn't perform well. Rubrik can be a big winner for the next coming years. I think a lot of cybersecurity names can still continue to go up for sure. PayPal Bank, yeah, but PayPal Bank, again, to get a banking license, it takes a year and a half or something like that. So it's really not something that will impact the business anytime soon. Because right now, I said it before, there are many things that happen today already. Buy now, pay later, Venmo, stablecoin, the branded experiences, the ads platform, and all of that. There are enough things at PayPal happening right now for us to not think about what a potential PayPal bank could do in 2027 and onwards. So, any thoughts on AMD with a meaningful shift to ASICs for training and inference, and NVIDIA buying Grok? And really, since CPX, does it mean you're less bullish on AMD? No, not less bullish on AMD at all. Because if you're less bullish on AMD, you should be less bullish on NVIDIA as well. Plus, AMD has talked about custom chips for semi-customs for quite a while. So no, I think there is enough demand for AMD to be quite successful. So I talked a bit about this already at the start. So I've trimmed once, yes. I'm not looking at the PE because the PE for Micron is always low. That's the thing. The PE for Micron is always low, so I'm not really looking at that. I'm purely looking at, for me, risk-reward potentials. I saw the very, very good risk-reward potential when I opened Micron, and if we continue to go up like this while some other positions do not go up, then suddenly the risk-reward might seem much better elsewhere. I know it's not soon, but yes, correct. Revenue per user going down, but that's because of the switch with Braintree. They went for profitable growth, and so that's why you're seeing that. What was it? 3 quarters ago, you see like a very sharp decline, which makes sense for the long-term health of the business. You do not want to have parts of the business that grow at all costs and hurt the profitability of the business. So that's why you're seeing that come down. When am I going to buy TSM? I'm not buying TSM, not because it's not a good business, but because TSM is more of a company that moves with the market, like the semiconductor market. It has performed well, but for now I'm still in a position where I can go and look at more aggressive names out there. Marco, I wish you also I wish everyone an excellent 2026, whether it's stock market, professional life, private life. I hope 2026 will be an amazing year for all of us. The last time I did a payment with PayPal, they had changed the default payment to 3 months, so I used that not to mess with the settings. Not because I was interested. I mean, they did change quite a lot. I mean, the UI has changed, the way you interact with it has changed, which makes it a lot better. I still feel they can make it even more seamless, but the payments are faster. Things look much better right now than they did 2 years ago before Alex Chris came in. Plus, there, of course, you can pay with your phone, blah, blah, blah. So they're making things much faster. But again, a large part of, especially the TPV, right? A large part of it just comes from Braintree, which is things that you don't see. It's like all the underlying payments. Big part of it is also Venmo. But yes, the branded checkout is still something that, unfortunately, they miscalculated the time that is needed in order to upgrade the whole, their whole client base. Not because it doesn't work. It works. It delivers good results. But the old system is just so old and it sucks. That's the fault of the previous management. And now it just takes longer than expected. There is one sentence that can move the stock, and that's they're seeing that consumer spending is improving. I think that is enough, because that's the sentence that basically pulled the stock down despite the good Q3 earnings, right? It's when they said during the analyst conference that the consumer spending pressure has continued in Q4, and that's what brought the stock down. No, I don't think so. Too big. It's like a $50-60 billion company. Plus, you will need to add a premium. It's too big. Plus, imagine whoever buys it. I don't think you cannot integrate it in another company at the moment. It's just too big, too complex. But and I wouldn't want that to happen, because whoever buys it right now, even with maybe taken private is the other option, but it's too cheap, because even if they buy it at a premium, what's going to be the premium? $75 per share? I did not buy it to get only $75 per share. My top picks for 2026, I still think Nebius should be up there. I think Nebius, SoFi are definitely up there. Uber is up there purely from a risk reward perspective and growth. A Shift4, a lot of these smaller cap companies, I think, can benefit in 2026 quite a lot. But yes, I go and say the names that I own and the rankings in the portfolio. So SoFi, I think SoFi can have another excellent 2026. Wouldn't be too crazy to end the year closer to $40, unless something crazy happens in 2026. But if it's in their control, I think we go much higher than where we at right now. Then as for Nebius, it's also same things, it's just continued execution. And you know what? even if we end the year at the previous highs, it's still a 64% return, which is insane. I think it can happen, because remember, the ARR for the end of this year is $8 billion. So if they can get there, they can get there. It's just taking the last month multiplied by 12. So I think that's definitely possible. But again, Jared has been replaced at Shift4 for over 6 months already. He's still the largest shareholder of Shift4. So doesn't really change much. Would have loved it if he stayed as CEO, but he's still the largest shareholder, and he bought a lot more shares, I think, in August, where was the stock in August? I think it was August. Yeah, I think he bought around here $84 or so. Will I buy OpenAI and SpaceX when the IPO? Probably not. I have like a miniature position on Robinhood, right, with the tokenized thing that you got from Robinhood when you signed up previously. But no, I will have zero interest in buying OpenAI or SpaceX when the IPO. They'll probably IPO closer to $1 trillion, and what's the point? Literally, what's the point? Novo. it's on the watch. I mean, it's on the list here, but it's not on my list of buying at the right now, or it's just on a one to follow. It's also one of those stocks that is in a turnaround stage at the moment. When are you? I think June. We did it in June or July of 25. So I assume June of July of 26. Although it is true that it's been a while since Tevis updated us on the performance. CoreWeave or Iron, I own both. I mean, CoreWeave is still the largest by far. Backlog-wise, revenue generating wise, available energy, I mean, IT load, whatever metric you want to use, CoreWeave is still much larger than an Iron or a Nebius. CoreWeave is much closer to the, of course, OpenAI exposure, but also NVIDIA, which is also why it has been under pressure now. They just have to show the market that there are no delays anymore, and they might maybe grow faster than expected. And I think this easily goes back above 100. With Iron, again, if you look at the stock's performance right now, don't forget that for now, Iron's revenue per quarter is still nothing. The AI cloud, it's about $1.2 to $2 million or so. So once they start reporting a much larger number that comes from the AI cloud, I think the market will start to rethink everything around it. Have I analyzed Zeta? Come on. I have a video about Zeta when it was, I think at this price, I think in June, yeah, $12 and something. I did touch on it last week again. So yeah, I did analyze Zeta 6 months ago. So before it became popular, it was extremely undervalued then. It still is cheap today, and I still view it as an acquisition target because I cannot explain why this thing has jumped almost 20% over the past week on no news. Why? Purely because I'm only going options for PayPal. I don't need another risk added to the portfolio. The shares are good enough for me. I also think that people put a little bit too much attention and pressure on this World Cup quarter for Shift 4. I think it's way overblown, the impact of a World Cup on Shift 4. It will impact it positively, but I think people are just putting a little bit too much attention on it. So yeah. Novo sandbag guidance. I don't think it's sandbagging guidance. I think it's just the new CEO wanted to play it a little bit safe. There are still a lot of changes at the company around that sector. So it's them just playing it safe, not really knowing if they are really going to beat their own guidance by that much this single quarter. But it's fine. It's just a reset for now for Novo. Yeah, I've heard about the Kazakhstan super app Kaspi. I think we talked about it a while ago also on the stream. It looks cheap, but then again, I don't think something like that should be trading at a premium. So we'll see. CoreWeave is, of course it is. It is much bigger than Iron today. Much bigger. It's supposed to end the year with what, 800? No, wait. I think it is. It's definitely today it is much bigger than an Iron, and it's not even close. And it's not even close, which is why they're expected to generate $5 billion in revenue this year, and iron not so much. Let's see. No, maybe. They also went to 3 analyst conferences. Skittles in the house. Welcome back. It's been a while. So active power footprint last quarter was 590 megawatts. Contracted power capacity is over 2.9 gigawatts. So when you look at what they have today or what they had last quarter, they are much bigger than iron. Again, if iron was bigger, they would be generating more revenue, but they don't. Also because they don't have the GPUs. So the company anticipates ending 2025 with over 850 megawatts of active power. That's CoreWeave. If going at iron, let's see what iron has. No, I mean, as I have just said. So by the end of 2026, Iron anticipates deploying approximately 460 megawatts of active power to support the expanded GPU fleet. So, no, again, today, by far, CoreWeave is the largest. Maybe let's go at look at my wonderful AI generated summaries for these companies, because I do think, let's see, CoreWeave. Yeah, so active power is 850 megawatts. That's the target. And as for iron, it is not close to it. Yeah, iron might have more contracted power, but connected power, active power, they definitely do not. Definitely do not, plus they definitely don't have the GPUs. Not necessarily. Again, one generates revenue, the other does not. Right? The other does not. Contracted power will generate, contracted will become connected power eventually, but connected power today, CoreWeave is by far the largest. And when you look at the megawatts that they will have, they have also contracted, is also 2.9 gigawatts. So yeah, that's why it is much bigger today, and even next year, it's still going to be much bigger. It's great to have the contracts for energy, but if you don't have the GPUs, then yes, you're probably going to have those co-location deals happen, and we'll see what everyone's margins will be on those. With that, we shall open the markets in just a bit, and I finally got my stupid... it doesn't make a good noise, I can tell you that. And the markets are open, ladies and gentlemen. It's a bad gong. It doesn't even make the sound of a gong, so I'll have to continue with this. Ding, 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 bing, bing, bong, bing, bong. The market is open for the last time in 2025. For now, we are getting way more. It is a Temu gong, that's why. Way more red than green. I mean, it's a Temu gong that you can also find on Amazon. So I guess this might also be an Amazon gong, but the sound it makes is definitely not a good gong sound. But it looks nice. Looks nice. A dust collecting gong. That's what it is going to do. Collecting dust. 9:30 p.m. and I will be asleep well before midnight fireworks. Well, happy New Year's to you and to everyone out there, and of course New Zealand, Australia, everyone on that side of the planet. Let us know how 2026 feels. You can find the email if you go to the about page on the YouTube channel. There is email. Just use that. And already thank you for it. Don't forget to close the poll. Correct. There should be like an option, like run the poll for the next 30 minutes and then it closes automatically. Maybe an agent could do it. By the way, if 50% of you say we end green, 30 red, and the rest flat. By the way, if some of you have the time, the Couch Football channel is back. I'm trying to revive it. We'll see if it works. So I'll add the link in the description in case you guys want to go and subscribe to it. Not sure everyone is interested in sports, but if you are, do me a favor and we'll try and revive that. Second of all, if you haven't watched the documentary of DeepMind, the thinking game, it's on YouTube. It has already over, I think, 220 million views. It talks about DeepMind, Demis Hassabis. It's a very, very good documentary. It shows you how it started, how DeepMind started, how they went on. By the way, gaming, people laugh at gaming, but without gaming, you have no NVIDIA, you have no DeepMind, you have none of all of this AI stuff that we have today, right? AlphaGo, AlphaZero, all of these things happened because of gaming. And when you look at how fast they solved this problem, well, how fast? It took a while, but things are moving so quickly. It's insane what will happen over the next couple of years. And then when you start to think about, okay, autonomous vehicles, humanoid robots, you see what they've done with chess, with Go, with some other games out there, with, of course, protein folding and all of that. You can start to see how this will completely change how people look at science, how people use AI to solve scientific things that were unsolvable before. Autonomous driving, you can clearly see why this is going to get solved pretty soon. It's insane. It's a very, very good documentary. So 1 hour and 20 minutes or so, which is much less, much less than shorter than the Avatar movie. Why do I have other numbers than the one on the heat map? Because the one on the heat map is not updated every single second. The one here on the site is updated every single second. So let's have a a quick look at all the names here. So fintech, Shift4 down 1.2, PayPal down 1% because why not? Chime down almost 1%, Dave is up 0.3, Bull is up 0.2, down 0.2, same for Adyen, same for dLocal, same for American Express, MasterCard, Robinhood, and Affirm all down a little bit. Then you have Klarna that's up, Block, Sezzle is basically flat, same as Block, Visa is up 0.2, same for New Holdings, Paga is up 0.3, and SoFi is up 8%. As for NeoClouds, we're getting some green action today. Hut 8 up 3, Applied 2.5, Cypher 2, White Fiber 1.4, same for Iron, same for Core Scientific. Nebius is up 0.8 and CoreWeave is down 1.5 at the moment. TSM is up 1.6, Nvidia 1.3, Lam 0.4, same for Applied Materials, ASML, AMD, CLAC are all green. Qualcomm is down 0.1, same with Broadcom, Intel, Marvell is down 0.6, and Micron is down 1.2. As for big tech, the only green name here is Tesla, barely green. Then you have Amazon, of course it's red, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, Google, Oracle, and Meta. They're all down less than a percent. At the moment, general list, Rocket Lab is green again. Why not? Why not? Let's see, BMNR is up 0.4, still at 27.8. I don't know, there's a lot of drama around BMNR and Tom Lee and emails and blah, blah, blah. Too much attention is being paid to this, to be honest. AST is down 0.2, Uber is flat, let's call it, Grab is down 0.2, Melly, same thing, United Health, basically flat. CRM is down 0.3, Zeta 0.4, Adobe 0.4, Rubrik 0.5, 0.6, Palantir, same thing. So yeah, we are going to end 2025 and Oscar is also down 0.7. So far, not so good at the moment. So far, not so good. Yeah, it is all over the place. I think we're going to see it until the next earnings report where things are going to be clarified. Plus, there is still a lot of attention on OpenAI and Oracle and all of that. But I think the next earnings report is, the next earnings season is a big one because, well, it's Q4. Plus, a lot of these companies will give us, not all of them, but a lot of them will give us their 2026 guidance. I used AI to make sure the measurements and construction of my house roof are right. For real, generate. Okay, that's a good use case. Happy New Year's to you as well. Hopefully you had a great 25 and let's make 2026 even better. What do you think will happen with my June 26 $65 price strike? Can you imagine if stays about... I can imagine, yes, I can imagine. I am mentally prepared. Mentally prepared. Hopefully it doesn't, but yeah, if it does happen, then I'll just call it what it is, a defeat. Mbappé, thank you for joining us on your winter break. I really, really appreciate it, and good luck. Good luck with uni. What games are there any AFCON games today? Let's see. Ah, there is. Mozambique, Cameroon, Gabon, Côte d'Ivoire. Okay. Equatorial Guinea, Algeria, Sudan, Burkina Faso. Okay. Gabon, Côte d'Ivoire. I think Gabon is not Aubameyang's team. Country? Team. Yes? No? Maybe not. I don't know. But I think he's injured anyways. But Côte d'Ivoire has a good team. Senegal has a very good team. Tomorrow we have more Premier League. Ugh, yesterday was another disaster by Chelsea and even Manchester United 30% of Wolverhampton's points have come from Manchester United. Another 30% have come from Spurs. No, I did buy a very small position in BMNR, but I did cut it. But I cut it to buy more CoreWeave, and it's not like CoreWeave has done that much better. But yeah, I never really had a huge position in BMNR. What was it, 2,000, I think, dollars or something. But yeah, I felt like at the end of the day, the thesis is interesting for sure, but when you have better opportunities out there, the hype is not worth it. I don't know. I think the price of silver and gold will have a correction in 2026 because it doesn't make that much sense. But I don't know about the exports license and all of that in China starting in January, which is very soon. So we'll see. Côte d'Ivoire est en Afrique, en effet, which is why they are playing in the African Cup of Nations, which I still think is absolutely stupid that it gets played in the middle of a season. Like it doesn't make any sense. A lot of red. Let's see what the VIX does today. What is it? Still 14? Yeah, 14, 15, close to 15. It is indeed very low. Very, very low. Like the last time we were this low was at the end of 2024. We were also at these types of levels. Then we started 25 at these levels, and yeah, but we did see huge spikes. That's the thing. People think that this year the market is up, our portfolios are up, etc., etc. But look at these spikes in the VIX. This is not normal. Okay, this is the tariff week stuff. This is the DeepSeek stuff. I can't remember what this was. This was probably Sam Altman's podcast appearance. The AI bubble fears have peaked. And then this one, can't remember what this was. But we've had like crazy moments this year where things were extremely volatile, where stocks were down double digits like it wasn't a normal thing. Hopefully next year we have... I wouldn't mind some volatility, but hopefully next year we do have like markets go up because the company's performance are good and not because, headline, something bad happens. Because it's been like this for a while. Like I wouldn't mind if suddenly, like, if your portfolio should go up because the companies that you own are good companies. I mean, the fact that we've had this thing happen, this is crazy. Like the S&P down 20% in, what was it? Let's call it 2 months is crazy. People say, we are going to crash. I mean, what do you call this? This was a huge crash. Like being down 20% in 2 months, the market, not the stock, the market down 20% in 2 months. Of course, it recovered quite rapidly. Well, rapidly it recovered and then some. But yeah, this was a crash to definitely take advantage of. And we've had pullbacks before. July 2024, we've had this August 5th, 2024, the yen carry trade crash. Also, flash crashes. Seems like we are getting a lot of these flash crashes. Some bigger, some smaller than the others. Your year to date is 43%. Could have been better. I mean, could have been better. Of course, everything can be better, but can we complain about 43? I mean, I'm also doing very well this year. Could have been better. Of course, it could have been better, but it could also have been much worse. As long as you beat the market like this quite comfortably, and even if it was only 30%, you will still be doing very, very well. I mean, if I can sign a paper now and next year I'm up 30%, I'm signing at this second, of course. But congrats, anyways. Congrats on that. Saludos de Mexico. De Mexico. Must be nice weather there now. Chilling on the beach. Are you on the east or west west side? Is it Cancun or Acapulco? Ooh, what do we have here? Hello from a ski resort. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind being now at a ski resort. Nice weather, little hot chocolate, snow white ski slopes. I wouldn't mind. I would not mind. Well, this could be a. I'm copywriting this. This could be a nice T-shirt. Bag holder meme novice retail trader. This is a nice one. Very nice. We have people from Chile here. From Santiago de Chile. Year to date, partially due to FX. Yeah, but it's okay to look at this, but you're only getting negatively impacted by it if you sell and you convert it back to Swiss francs. Because if you're staying in dollars, then there's no reason why you should look at the FX change today. Again, unless you sell it. Markets have had 3 record years. Yes, but I would say, let's maybe look at the weekly here. Where do we start? So, record 3 years. That is 100% correct. 23, 24, 25, excellent years. Although, I would say that 23 was, of course, a great year, but that's because 2022 was a shit year. Pardon my French. It was a horrible year, all in all. So 2023 was basically a recovery from what has happened since the peak year of 2021, which was, or next, actually January 2022. If we go all the way to the end of 2022, the markets were still down. The market was still down 20%. Now, from that point, it took So the market peaked January 2022. You reached that point only in January 2024. Okay, so the whole of 2023 was purely a recovery. Now, of course, we should not have been this high in 21-22 because everything was overvalued. We were coming out of a pandemic period, blah, blah, blah. I agree. But one of the 2 years of the 3 years that we've just had, one full year of it was purely returning to where we were before. And then afterwards, yes, since that point, at the start of January, which is now 2 years, we are up 43% in 2 years, which again is very, very good. Very, very good. But in those 2 years, as you can clearly see, this year we went back to the point we were in January 2024. So it's true that over the past 3 years, we have gone up. But in those 3 years, a lot has happened. And one of the 3 years was purely a recovery. And then the last 2 years was, yes, us continuing to go up because, well, EPS was increasing across the board. Of course, you have the whole AI hype and real revenue growth and EPS growth and margin expansion. But yeah, again, if you look at here, the April crash brought us back to levels not seen since January 2024. So it's, if we, let's say we go back now to April, what are we saying? We are saying that, oh, over the past 3 years, market has done nothing. But 4 years, 4 years. Market has done nothing, right? Because we were here at the same point the market was in December 2021. But of course, you don't hear that side of the story. You only hear the side of the story where, oh, we bottomed here and then we went up. Yes, that is true, but you have to look where we come from. You have to look at the crashes that happened as well. And you also have to look at why the market went up so much. And of course, why the market crashed as well. PayPal, push your patience limits. This is also a good one. Not bad. Not bad at all. I bought a lot this year. Again, it depends when you bought it, right? If you bought it when things were down quite a lot, then I think you will be fine. But yeah, if you bought it in October, or I mean, literally October, November, then there is a higher likelihood that you could feel some pain. Unless you bought some names that in October were quite cheap, right? The PayPal, Salesforce, an Adobe, a Google, I mean, even a Google still, an Amazon or things like that. Even if the price was high, they might still be undervalued. But if you bought in April, in March, in February, in May, I think you are still going to be fine. And yes, take home message, lesson to be learned is to take profits before it becomes a market phenomenon. I agree. People always say, oh, you took profits and the stock went higher. Okay, cool. I rather have my profits in my pockets, still have exposure. The example of Micron. I sold Micron, I took profits of Micron. Those profits are secured. The position that still exists, I continue to benefit from the fact that it goes up. But let's say it didn't go up. Let's say it started to crash. Guess what? I'm not getting hit that much because I already secured my profits. And I agree. I think if you hold stocks that you bought at a very good price, that maybe were not popular or whatever, it went up a lot. If you don't feel comfortable owning it anymore, or you don't feel comfortable having the same exposure anymore, yeah, man, find that sell button and push it. Who cares? Like, if you will feel more comfortable because you took profits, you should definitely take profits. People need to understand the goal here is to make a profit. The goal is not to be in participation mode. This is not a sport team where I'm a fan of this sport team, let's try and win the game. No, you are trying to make money from these assets. That's your primary goal. Secondary goal is, of course, not to lose money. And if you can lose less money because you can take profits, thank you very much. We'll do that. Now, should I have sold some PayPal options a month and a half ago? In hindsight, yes. In hindsight, yes. Maybe you should have taken the initial invested amount. But then again, how am I supposed to know that the market would suddenly turn and push this undervalued stock even lower? I didn't know. But we live and we learn, right? We live and we learn. If over the next 2 months or so, my options are going to be up 200%, yes, I will probably take my initial investment out and let the rest run. Because, a donkey doesn't hit his head twice on the same stone or whatever. It's a saying in Dutch. But yeah, you take profits, and at the end of the day, it's your portfolio, it's your money. If you think this is the best move for you, you should definitely do it. Just because some other people will say that, oh, you're a clown for selling too early. No, you are a clown for listening to someone else talk about your own money. Now you're going to say, oh, but that's my That's my whole job here. Well, no, I actually talk about my positions and the companies that I like, and people might like the same thing or they might not like it. That's completely fine. That's completely fine. I do have to correct you here because I've seen this statement quite a lot. Although I would love for it to be true, it is not true. Because Meta had everything under control. PayPal not. Right? The only thing Meta had to do is to stop spending like crazy. And poof, just like that, the stock re-rated. It's not the same with PayPal. Again, I would love for it to be true, but I've said it time and time again, it is not. It is not the same. In order to make money, don't use taxes. Oh, why not? If you can use it, then why not? If you made money, if you have losing positions, then yes, just you'll pay less taxes. If I am a different language speaker, but I do speak French at home. My grandparents come from the French side of the country, so we speak French at home, which is why I can have different accents, to be honest. Keep an eye on those RSIs. When it hits above 80, don't be afraid or anything. Correct. Indeed. Let's actually have a look. Because I think in October, Nebius in October was indeed on the daily was overbought. But it's also a tricky one, right? Because if we go and have a look at Google, if you look at Google here in September, RSI was extremely overbought, but it was overbought for quite a while, and yet the company continued to go up. It depends. Of course, you cannot compare Google to the neoclouds. Google is extremely profitable. The others are not. I agree. But yeah, in most cases, when RSI does start to peak and reach 80 or plus here on the daily especially, might not be the craziest thing to take some profits. But then again, if it is these types of... There are certain companies where I'm like, you know what? If it goes down, I'll just buy more, right? So voila. The market is a fun game to play, for sure. But in any game, the goal is to win, not to lose. So, with that said, let's have a quick look if there is any news that came out in the meantime. I have not seen anything here. Maybe here. Oh yeah, apparently today is Warren Buffett's last day as CEO of Berkshire, which makes sense because it's the last day of the year. And then the guy can go and retire. Maybe he should start a Substack. Imagine Buffett starting a Substack. Wouldn't that be something? This is the year-to-date. This is the year-to-date performance. Not too shabby. And this is the day performance right now. This is again also something like, oh, if you sell now, you'll pay taxes. Yeah, but the only reason you're paying taxes is because you've made profits. Of course, every country has different structures. Some countries, if you own a certain stock for X amount of years and then you sell it, you'll pay less taxes. I get it. But at the end of the day, if you sell and you have to pay taxes, that means you made money. So voila. Thoughts on Melly sell-off? No. Any sell-off that happens right now, don't overthink it. There is nothing, literally. There is nothing that happens right now between Christmas and New Year's. Nada. Nothing. Zilch. We will see what happens in the next coming weeks, next month or so. We'll see what happens. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I will sign off. time to actually live, do something else than watching the screen right now. So I do really appreciate all of the support throughout the last couple of years, but especially this year. I do think that 2026 could still be a very, very good year. We'll try and improve the channel however we can. My goal is, of course, to make sure that the live stream become bigger, to bring in more guests, to try and bring in more executives, although it seems like most of them are ignoring me for now. But we'll see for how long they can ignore the couch investor. But yeah, if you're interested in sports and things like that, go and head to the other channel. We'll try and revive that. If not, we shall see each other maybe on Friday. Maybe on Friday. So with that said, thank you all for joining. And for the last time, merci beaucoup. See you all in the next one. And a very, very much happy new year to everyone. And for those already in 2026, let's go.